Transition over. Thank you, everybody. This is Captain Jack to the start of my show. Camo, good to see you as well. Remember, if you are on Facebook, I'll give you a little bit of time to head on over there. But this is the Ask Captain Jack show, and we are over on YouTube. And I don't have to worry about two things I don't have to worry about tonight. I don't have to worry about being in my underwear. Yeah, I was in my underwear the other night. But it was at least some boxer shorts. So it wasn't offensive to anybody. It wasn't anything that would be, wildly, uncool. Full shorts on tonight, so I can actually get up in the camera. I have my Raider shorts are definitively on. So we got that. Better off KC winning and taking the Chargers out. Oh, you're talking about for Monday night. Polo, that's a good insight, and we'll talk about that as well. It is Thursday night. So far, the Browns are winning near the end of the first quarter, 7-0. Have no clue how they scored 7 points. I just put this on. Okay, Robert Bigler's got a question. Rob, do you want to do that on the phone or when I open up the phone line, or we can do that? Matter of fact, let's do this, okay? We'll do the transition here, okay? So we are here on, again, if you're on Facebook, head on over to YouTube because you guys can hear me on YouTube, I hope. I would imagine that if you didn't hear me on YouTube, there would be a ruckus of, hey, we can't hear you. So that's good. Oh, it's a touchdown run by Mayfield. Okay, thanks for that, Mike. Again, I got home late. If you're here on Facebook, thank you for watching on Facebook, but we are heading over to YouTube. There is a big announcement coming up from me concerning the last home game. Is it the last home game? We'll find out. Matter of fact, hang on there a second there, Rob. Oh, Rob, I see you on, but I got to check my phone. It's not. I see you call me on my regular number, Rob. Tell you what, go ahead, call the number that's listed, 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. Okay, good. Everybody's hearing me loud and clear. That's good. Okay, Rob, call me up on my show number, and we'll go from there. Line is open. Casey Rob was just calling, so I know that at least you guys can hear me. And Rob, go ahead. I got the line open. I have it. So I'm we call it rebooting it. So everybody should be good to go. Scott Allen says Josh Jacobs is going to get him 200 yards on Sunday. If he did, he would be over 1,000 for the year, which is not bad considering it would be 1,000 yards in 10 games, which would be averaging about 100 yards a game, obviously, for people that do remedial math. Actually, and far be it for me to say this, but 1,000 yards anymore is not the hallmark that it once was. 1,000 yards used to be a benchmark. There we go. Hey, Rob, hang on a second. Can you hear me? 1 second. I'll make sure that okay, I know why. Okay, Rob, can you hear me now? Okay, hang on. Now I got the sound up. I can hear you, you can hear me, and my listeners can hear you as well. How you doing out there in Kansas City, partner? First off, what's the temperature?
Today, it actually got up to 40 degrees.
It got up to 40 degrees. Man, I am going to freeze my ass off when I head out there in about 3 weeks. I know it. I mean, I'm going to New York next weekend, and it is anything below 60 is cold for this old boy from Florida. So it's going to be It's going to be an
You better
experience.
pack some warm clothes then.
I am. I'm going to make sure that I got. I would say that the over and under of me being cold, it definitely take the over on that. I'm going to be cold, but I am going to at least have on the warm gear. I'll make sure. Okay, you don't need this. I'll make sure I transition here. I will be warm. Now you're gonna, when I get out there, make sure that you are out there to escort me around, and where you got to take me out to a nice barbecue shop, and I'm counting on that.
You want to go to Gates, because that's like real Kansas City barbecue, or you can go to a fancier restaurant, which would be like Jack Stack. So.
Well, I want to go to a good one. I mean, like I said, I want to go to a real authentic one that's really good.
Oh, then I'll take you to Oklahoma Joe's, or Joe's KC as they call it now. That's really good.
Okay, well, I looked at my itinerary. I am getting in on Friday.
Okay.
And like I said, when I get the full itinerary in, I got a hotel room, so we're good to go. And we're good to
There you go.
So yeah.
Yeah, I get to the stadium for tailgate. If it's a noon game, I'll get there at about 6:50 in the morning.
Whoa, that is way early, man. And they let you in?
Yeah, they let you in. Gates open around 7, but if you get there about 6:50, you can go in.
Well, was that like 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? 6 hours. Wow, they let you in.
Yeah.
They let you in 6 hours? But oh wait, no, that's Central Time, so 5 hours.
Yeah.
So it's actually there's actually about a 12 o'clock kickoff, right?
Yeah. Yep. 12 o'clock.
Okay. Well, you had a question for me, and by the way, this is my boy, Casey Robb, and a good gentleman that he is. You had a question for me. You said it was about a trade. Is this a fantasy trade or what?
This is a fantasy trade. I'm in a dynasty league.
Okay.
So I wanted Russell Wilson, and I offered Michael Thomas straight up for Russell Wilson, and the guy wouldn't take the trade. And I didn't know if you thought that was fair. Like a fair trade.
Michael who?
Michael Thomas, the receiver from the Saints.
Oh, okay. Well, he's the number 2 behind Thomas, right?
Michael Thomas is the number 1 receiver for the Saints.
Right, but this is that's the guy you were trading?
Yeah, I was trading him for Russell Wilson.
Ooh, okay. I thought you said Michael Palmas. That's why I was like,
no.
I don't know a guy named Michael Palmas. I know Mike Thomas. So, yeah, I would say, wow, that's who. Now you wanted Wilson and he wanted Thomas, right? Or you offered Thomas?
I wanted Wilson, so I offered Thomas.
He might be. I mean, it sounds like an even trade, but the way that Russell Wilson is playing this year on an MVP stature, he's probably right. You probably needed to sweeten the pot a little bit.
Okay, so, and I figured you would say that. So you know what he came back with? So he goes, I want to do some pieces. And I said, okay, like, what do you want me to add to Michael Thomas for Russell Wilson? So he comes back with a counteroffer and offers me Russell Wilson, Phillip Rivers, James White, Hunter Renfrow, and Jarvis Landry for Deshaun Watson, Michael Thomas, and Josh Jacobs.
No. You're right telling him to pack sand on that one.
I was like, are you kidding me with that trade? And he was like, well, I thought it was pretty fair. I was like,
no.
You thought that was a fair trade.
5 for 3, plus with the players involved. I mean, Wilson, I got Wilson, and in fact, that Josh Jacobs is probably going to be Rookie of the Year, and is going to be packing up stats to the Raiders for years, providing I'm not gonna jinx him.
Right.
Hunter, you got Hunter Renfrow too?
No, he has Hunter Renfrow. He offered all those people for my 3 people. He wanted Deshaun Watson, Josh Jacobs, and Michael Thomas for those people.
Oh, F no.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you were right in telling him to pack sand.
Okay. because I was like, I wanted your opinion on it. And I'm like, you offered me those people, a rookie. I mean, granted, Hunter's been used quite a bit in the last couple games, but I'm like, you offered me a rookie, a quarterback that's like 900 years old, Jarvis Landry, who's been on 5 teams in 6 years and is on a shit offense,
right?
Sorry for the language.
Uh-huh.
For the number 3 fantasy quarterback and or number 2, depending on the year, the number 1 fantasy receiver, and a young buck like Josh Jacobs, who's been putting in work and going to win Rookie of the Year.
Right. Yeah. No, you were correct. Like I said, now if you were doing the trade and say maybe he had a and I would say I mean maybe one more, but that a 5 for 3 that was bullshit.
And then I got one other thing to ask you. Now, would you have done this one? Because then he came back with this one, and I just told him no because at that point I was annoyed.
Right.
He said Russell Wilson and Marlon Mack for Michael Thomas and Josh Jacobs.
No.
That's okay.
No.
Okay, so because I told him no to that one too. And
Yeah, I mean,
no.
Mack is a good running back, but oft injured. And Jacobs, even though he's got the shoulder injury, he hasn't missed any real time. And I would go like maybe somebody. He would have to go. He would actually have to give you 3 for those 2.
Because I wanted Russell Wilson, Melvin Gordon, and a 3rd-round pick, and he wouldn't do it. He said that's too much.
No, I think you did the best. I think you did the best.
I wasn't sure. Now, would you, because I got another trade offer, and he offered me DJ Moore. This is a different guy. He offered me DJ Moore for Chris Carson.
Okay, apologize. DJ Moore is who? And Chris Carson's with the Seahawks.
Yeah, he's the running back for the Seahawks.
Okay.
Their starting running back.
Right. DJ Moore
is that young buck from Carolina, the receiver.
Okay, to be very honest with you, I'm not up on him.
Okay.
I couldn't. My opinion would be nonsensical because I don't know enough about DJ Moore.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, while I got you on the line, you guys got the Chargers on Monday night in the altitude of Mexico City. Talk to me about what's going on. Talk to me about what's going on with Kansas City as far as if there's any certain injuries that we need to know about as Raider Nation, because we're going to be keeping a very close eye on that game.
As far as I know, I don't think we have any big people out. We had our backup defensive end go down for the season. I can't remember what he went down with, but he's out. But Frank Clark, we still got Frank Clark. So we did figure out why Frank Clark was not living up to the contract that the Chiefs had offered him. He finally admitted here back home that he had been dealing with a injury all season. He had been playing with an injury all season, but he didn't want the other teams to know it. He actually has a pinched nerve in his neck. So every time, like if he moves a certain way, his whole right side of his body goes numb, except for a shooting pain that shoots all the way up his body. Okay,
now he didn't divulge that to the Kansas City staff?
Well, they knew about it, and they were keeping it under wraps because they didn't want the other teams to know about it. But they finally came out in the conference and said he was injured.
That's what I was getting at. And if that's true, then Kansas City, by NFL regulations, was not upholding their part in the Disclosure Act of disclosing full disclosure of injuries, and they should be punished in some sort of way for that.
Well, see, and that's what I would think, because they said here that doctors knew. Now, whether they knew, I don't know, because like you said, that would be against the Disclosure Act, because you'd have to tell a team. But he's been playing with that injury since training camp. He's had it since training camp.
But it's still the fact that if the Kansas City staff knew about it, by what they are supposed to do, if Kansas City has not disclosed that, and I haven't seen Clark on an injury report with that to my knowledge, this whole year, then they are in abeyance of that disclosure. So normally, that would be maybe even a fine or a draft pick worthy, depending upon the severity. I mean, and again, it's one of these things where, the injury report are for gamblers, and that's the only reason why they do injury reports. People think it's for the teams, it's for gamblers, and that's kind of strange, but that's just the way it is. I think that the Chiefs should be, and again, I know you're a Kansas City fan, but as a solemn and squared away Kansas City fan, I think you'd probably agree with me too.
I wouldn't say draft pick because, he hasn't really done much. It'd be different if he's playing his injury and dominating everybody. I would say fine him. I would agree with a fine. I maybe not a draft pick, but I would definitely fine him. But now whether the NFL does that or not, because, they got a bunch of circus on their hands with that Colin Kaepernick tryout and the Antonio Brown situation still. So
yeah.
Whether they do or not, we'll see.
And quickly, because you're up on time, Rob, what's your take on that Colin Kaepernick tryout?
What's my take on it?
Yeah.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think he should be allowed to play in the NFL.
Well, okay, but what's your take on the fact that the NFL is doing one of these put up or shut up type of things, but giving Kaepernick, they're not really, and again, trust me, I agree with you on Colin Kaepernick. I don't like him either, but I think the NFL is, in its own way, is being duplicitous in that they saying, well, we're offering him this, but they didn't give him a lot of time or any of those things as well. So I think that it's a bullshit call or stand by the NFL trying to seem that they're accommodating when they're really not.
Correct, and I think he's good enough to be a backup on any team in the NFL. And I'm pretty sure as an athlete like himself, he's kept himself in shape. So I'm sure one of these, 6 or 7 teams that are going, I'm sure he's going to end up making one of their rosters.
Actually, it's probably, I think I saw it was like 11 or 12. And,
was it 11 or 12 now?
Yeah,
okay.
It was at least 11 that I know about. And I know that the Browns were one. I know the Ravens were one. I know the Patriots were one.
And then Redskins, Jets, Bengals, Cowboys, and I can't remember who else it was. Maybe Seattle.
Yeah. I mean, it was teams that primarily had running quarterbacks that could use a running quarterback backup.
Oh, one of them was Denver. Denver was on there too.
Yeah, well, Denver needs help everywhere, so that's just the way that is.
That is terrible.
Well, hey.
By the way, we're going to whoop the Chargers' ass on Monday night.
That's what I was looking for, is who's going to win that game. So it's an ass whooping given out by Kansas City.
Oh yeah.
At altitude. Okay. Well, hey, make sure you stop in on Sunday. I'll be doing the show after the game on Sunday, and hopefully we'll get some more updates on that. And then obviously next Thursday we'll talk about it, whether we being you and I were right on that.
All righty.
All right. Hey, always good hearing from you, brother.
You too, Captain.
All right. Take care now.
You too.
All right. Bye. That is Kansas City Rob. And he starts off with some fantasy, which is pretty cool. I mean, I don't the last time I did fantasy, now granted I've been a fantasy person for as far as helping people out, so that's kind of like what I used to do as well. Mike Sarah, how you doing, brother? What's going on?
Oh, not much, man. How you doing, Captain?
Not bad. What's going on in Missouri?
Well, it's cold. We had a little snow on, I think it was Monday, so it's been a little cold.
Yeah.
40 degrees now, but it's been cold.
Okay. One second. Whoever was calling at 559, you got to give Mike at least 3 to 5 minutes. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, well, being a Raiders talk show, man, I thought I would call in and talk about the Raiders. I was really, I know you like your KC guy, but I was surprised that he called in and started chatting about fantasy football. I thought that was kind of funny.
Hey man, this is the Ask Captain Jack show. As long as you got
Hey, I don't know. I'm in fantasy football too, so I understand.
Yeah, I mean,
it's fun.
As long as you got a take and you want to discuss some things football-wise, that's good. And I like the fact because he's keeping me up on my toes. I used to be the guy, because I don't play fantasy. I did before, and I won the league 3 out of the 4 times that I played, but I'm very competitive, and I don't have the time for it. And so that's one of the reasons why I don't.
Yeah, I'm in like 3 different leagues, so it takes up a little time, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's on the computer, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah. But talk to me. Talk to me. What's going on?
Well, I just I'm thinking about this game Sunday. A little worried about it. I don't know why.
I would be.
This way.
I would be worried about it too.
I'm looking at it this way, man. If you play them like an 0-19, we might lose that game. If you play them like it's a Chargers team or a Chiefs team or somebody you really need to beat, you probably win. So, I just hope they come out with that kind of attitude. Who knows?
That's true. That's true. And like I said, by the way, if you're on Facebook, I appreciate you being here. I see Sunny Ray's there. How you doing there, hon? Good to see everybody. If you're on Facebook, please go to YouTube. Go to the YouTube feed. I am over there on YouTube right now. I'm not sure how many people are still over here on Facebook, but I'm gonna be hitting the feed. I'm gonna be hitting the feed off on Facebook in about 3 minutes. You guys had about 25 minutes to pop over. I appreciate you being over here on Facebook. Please go over to YouTube. Hit the feed on YouTube, youtube.com/C/Captain Jack Rackham Levy. Valerie, that includes you, sweetheart. I see you over here on Facebook. I know Valerie will come over, so we'll hear that again.
Yeah, I know the Bear has been commenting on his frustrations about Facebook also. I don't think he's too happy about it.
No, Facebook sucks, and one of the reasons I'm actually surprised that with the multiple feed that I have on, that Facebook hasn't crapped out. I think one of the reasons why it hasn't, though, is because I have it on my phone on this one, and then the camera using the regular hard computer. If you're on Facebook, I'm going bye-bye now. Come on over to YouTube. We'll see you later. All right. So we are definitively only on YouTube right now. So what do you got for me there, bro? I like to say it's cold and misery. I understand that.
Yeah, it's pretty miserable. But, I just, great game again the other night, Thursday night, obviously, awesome win. But then lose another player on the last play of the game. Losing a guy like Carl Joseph, man. I mean, that guy is a quality player. He's been stepping it up the last 2 weeks. It really sucks, and I hope Swearinger can come in and fill his shoes. But, it's always tough to lose players that are playing good, especially in our secondary. So.
Right. And Joseph was playing not just for a contract with anybody, because again the Raiders did not pick up his options, so that he was playing for himself and for his next job. As I stated, if the Raiders think that he is going to be a good player to have around, even with Abram back there and with the emergence of Harris, Carl Joseph needed to show up. And I think he did that. He'll be playing for somebody next year, and he'll be starting for somebody in my mind.
Well, he'll be playing. Hopefully, he'll be playing for the Raiders because they need to pair him up with Abram. I mean, that would just be a hard. You talk about hard hitting, because Joseph was out there just nailing people the other day. He hit 2 or 3 players head on, knocked them hard. So I mean, and you get Abram out there who's a nut anyway. I mean, it's going to be pretty nasty there.
Well, I was going to say
we need that kind of nastiness in the secondary.
Yeah,
sure.
if you and I like Carl Joseph as well. I definitely wanted to keep him in the mix. Wow, J.J. Schuster just took a shot.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's sitting on the field. So let's hope that he's okay.
Helmet too.
Oh yeah. So did they throw the flag?
I don't know. It didn't look like it, but he hit him with his helmet.
Wow.
2 of them.
Yeah.
But it's not the Raiders. If that was the Raiders, they would have.
Oh yeah. In fact, he took Schuster took a double shot with the helmet, and so did Mason Rudolph. Yeah.
Yeah, Mason Crosby did too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Mason Crosby, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. Yeah, I know.
Not the kicker for Green Bay.
Not the Packer kicker, but yeah, I knew that as well. It is a hell of a game that we got coming up, and like I tell people, excuse me, don't go sleeping on the Bengals. I understand, and I was there, the Thursday night game in 2014. Raiders are 0-10 hosting a Kansas City team which is hell of a lot better than they are. I think Alex Smith was still on that team. I might be mistaken, but
yeah, it was Alex Smith.
Yeah, and the Raiders with 50 Who and Justin Tuck and Morrison
Latavius Murray.
And yep,
Latavius Murray tore out about a 70-yard touch, 80-yard touchdown. It was long.
he did. Hey, I want to answer. I want to get this call, Mike. But who do you think wins Sunday?
If the Raiders play like they should play, they'll win.
Okay, I got
The
that.
Raiders.
Mike Sarah says go Raiders, and we'll take it from there. Mike, thanks again. 559. Who do we got on the line?
How you doing, Captain Jack? It's Polo.
Hey, Polo, good to see you, brother. I'm sorry your phone didn't show up on my because I have my phone here as well. So I try to see if the numbers come up. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Again, thanks for calling Mike Sarah. Mike Sarah says we win on Sunday. What's going on with you, Polo? By the way, Polo is a firefighter, so give blessings out to all the firefighters that we all know that are going through a lot of diverse and hard times. So keep them in your prayers. Go ahead, Polo.
Hey, well, I appreciate that. I've been thinking about something the last week after we beat the Chargers. All the way home, I kept thinking, is they play in Mexico City next week, and you look at KC and Chargers, and they're in our division. And, right now you're looking at the end game. Looking at our schedule, we should be able to hopefully win out. If not win out, get to that 11 wins is what I'm hoping for. But at the same time, if I'm looking at KC and Chargers, looking at both teams, remember KC, they still got to play the Patriots and play us. Chargers got the Vikings and us and KC. So I'm thinking if we get the KC to beat the Chargers, that takes them out of the story.
Right.
And I fear Rivers more than I fear Mahomes.
Yeah, Rivers is more of he's a, what do you call it, a wily old cat, and he seems to have the, he got much more experience. Mahomes is more of a wild card in the fact that he's a rocket with an arm, kind of like Brett Favre, in the fact he just throws it, guns it, and doesn't really care as much about what the responses will be. I agree with you there. Rivers is more to be feared in the respect that he is more wily and cagey, but because of his diminished abilities, this might be his last year. I don't know whether Phillip Rivers is going to go beyond this year, but we'll see. We'll see when it comes up, because people are saying, and I don't know how true this is, but people are saying that maybe there's some old wild vet out in New England that's had enough of the hoodie, and that this old wild vet might come out to L.A. and be their quarterback next year.
Huh. Well, who knows? Who knows with that? But I'm just looking at from the KC perspective. We beat them for 3 quarters. We had a great first quarter against them. The second quarter they came back. The third quarter and fourth quarter we were able to stop the bleeding. We just didn't ever take the lead again.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm looking at. Hey, we played them. We kind of figured them out. Of course, we're missing a lot of guys that we had back in those days, but at least we have some experience with them. I'm hoping we go to KC 3 weeks and we actually beat them there at home.
Yeah, the one thing that Kansas City gets that is good for them is they get a bye before they play us. So they go to Mexico City, and they do have that extra week off to recuperate, because again, that's gonna take something out of that team playing up at altitude against a division foe. Hopefully, it'll be a hard game for both teams where they slug it out. I'm not wishing injuries. I'm just saying that maybe it'll be something that would be bad for both teams, and the fact that it'll be a hard-fought game, and it might take something out of both teams. Kansas City has at least the advantage of having a bye after that before the Raiders go into Kansas City the following week.
Yeah, it's hard to, I'm going back and forth. So what do you think? I mean, are you going to root for KC or the Chargers? I mean, if both teams could lose, that'd be great. I mean, if they tie, that would be a win for us. But realistically, which team would you want to win?
That's very hard. I mean, I think I'm actually going to root for San Diego only because I think that Kansas City is the cream besides the Raiders of the AFC West. Excuse me. And I always
remember at the beginning of the year they predicted Diego to go to the Super Bowl. They're the ones with all the talent.
Right.
I mean, they just haven't put it together. And that's what I fear that more is like, hey, they come back and they're in the hunt and chasing us. And KC with Mahomes' injury, who knows if he's 100%? Him coming back and losing is not a good sign for those guys. Like I said, they still got to play New England, and that's going. And so the way I look at it, if KC takes out the Chargers, they can't chase us, and then KC will lose to Patriots. Then they have to play us. It's in our own, it's our own destiny. If we, deserve to be in the playoffs, we should be able to take the Chiefs out. That puts a little more pressure on us, and that's the way Raiders play the best.
Right. I mean, it doesn't really matter who wins. Honestly, it doesn't really matter who wins because the Raiders need to take care of business within the division. And by the way, that also includes the very last game against the Broncos because depending upon what's going on with the Raiders need to beat Kansas City in Kansas City, and they need to beat the Chargers in Los Angeles. If they don't do those things, there is no way in hell that they can even think about being the AFC West champs, let alone depending upon how things shake out amongst the other contenders in the AFC, and that includes Buffalo, who has a easier route to keeping up. I think they're like a game up. Yeah, I think Buffalo is 6-3. Buffalo has an easier route than the Raiders do as far as they got a game in hand that they don't have. That game that we're tied with them. Kansas City is going to be a tough out anyway, but we need to beat Kansas City in Kansas City. If the Raiders beat Kansas City in Kansas City, I can almost attest that the Raiders should win the AFC West if they play up to their potential and no more super debilitating injuries come our way.
Yeah, that's been our if you look at where we should be, if Abram would have got hurt, if we had Burfict still, and believe it or not, I know if Antonio Brown would have J-Cat out and been our receiver, just imagine where we'd be right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he had a good plan. Injuries you can't foresee them, but the plan they're thinking on the right page, and I think great things to come. I'm hoping we're going to be there. It'd be nice to get that last win before we move out of California and having to go to Oakland. Hey, one last quick plug. The Santa Maria Black Hole Parade will be May 30th for you. Hopefully you'll be able to come down and join us this year. It'll be a blast. And what other games are you going to before I hang up?
I'm going to all the rest of the games except for the Titans game, which right now I'm still trying. I gave my tickets an offer for my tickets for somebody that hopefully will come through on that. If he doesn't come through quickly, I will put them up again for consumption. If you want to go to the Titans game, I got 2 club seats available. They're basically, I'm asking face value plus a little bit for not exorbitant, but a little bit for fees that I might get via PayPal. So I'm asking for $415, which is face value plus fees, and that's not exorbitant for two club seats. And I also asked that if you go to the game, you got to pick me up 2 programs. That goes with it.
There you go.
I want to make sure.
I'll be at every home game. We have planned, and I think we are definitely doing. We got the big LA Black Hole tailgate going on for the Raider Charger game, so hopefully a lot of people can join us for that. And we're looking forward. We got a big tailgate planned this weekend. There on D-Lot, we got DJ. Of course, all the super fans will be there, so hopefully everybody listening can swing on by and say hello and take some pictures.
Oh, yeah, well, like I said, I'll be out. Where's that? You said there's a tailgate this weekend for you?
Yeah, it's in D-Lot, right there in the black hole. We'll have there at D-Lot.
Okay, well, I will try to make it out there. I'm staying with a friend of mine, and she has a tailgate, so I would be remiss if I didn't spend a bunch of time with the lady that's put me up for the weekend. Great lady. And, I don't want to say, hey, thanks for doing this, but I got to go to another tailgate, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I will try to make it out there to say hi to everybody.
For sure. You got my number, so text me and let me know. But, yeah, we'll be I think we're setting up at should be there at 8:15, I think. They'll let us in, and we'll be there in D-Lot with our 6 black hole tents and plenty of Corona, Modelo, DJ and everything. We'll be having a good time.
Yeah, well, I might actually go over there and drink this time because I don't drink a lot of beer, so I might have to go to the bar and get some actual real drinks.
Hey, well, you know what? We always have that free Corona Modelo flowing out of the black hole D-Lot tailgate.
You got it. And I got to actually ask you about, and this will be off camera. Remind me, I got to give you a shout for something as well.
Okay.
All right. Always good talking with you there, Polo. So keep up. Make sure you get the word out. I want more people calling in so we get some more good intake of people calling in for the show.
No, I love it. Every time I get a notification that you're on, I always try to jump on and at least catch the show.
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you're doing, and I always appreciate what you do for the Raider Nation, and I always get everybody's thoughts on week to week how we're doing, and I see good things. I'm pretty stoked on what's going on. The downside is this is it, and like you said, is this our last playoff game or our last game in Oakland? It could be unless we do the playoffs, and hopefully we're able to do one more game beyond that. It'd be nice to have one playoff game in Oakland.
It would be, and I actually would probably do everything I can to. I mean, if I'm not going to miss a playoff game in Oakland after my near 50 years of fandom, and I have yet to see a playoff game at all, let alone an Oakland playoff game. So I would come out hook or by crook, if I have to, if I have to like mug somebody to get out there.
Well, you're always welcome here in Santa Maria, so we always got a place for you.
Well, I might have to hook you up on that there, shipmate, because
hey man, let me tell you, we're like 40 minutes from Santa Barbara, 15 minutes from Pismo Beach. We're good.
Okay.
We got perfect weather all the time, so it's like Florida without the humidity.
I like that. Trust me, I love Florida for about 265 days a year. It's the 100 days where there's a bunch of hurricanes and nasty, sweltering, sticky heat that I can't stand.
Oh, yeah, and zero mosquitoes. We've got no mosquitoes here, so we're good.
Hey, don't talk about the the state bird.
Exactly, that damn thing. That's why I went there, I got attacked, so anyway.
All right. Hey,
Polo.
Polo.
All right, good night, Captain Jack.
Hey, thanks again, Polo. Appreciate you calling in, brother.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's Polo Rodriguez of the Black Hole, Santa Maria. Always good to hear from him. And hopefully we'll get some more good things. Remember, like I said, they have the big parade out there. Hopefully I can make my way out there. I see that the Browns just got another pick. Or I shouldn't say another pick, but a pick. Could it be that the Browns do us a favor by beating the Steelers? We'll see. Houston Steve, how you doing, brother? Good to hear from you.
Great to hear from you, Captain. Hey, I was going to tell you, they just intercepted the Steelers again. Cleveland's up 14-0. I love it. My uncle's been a lifelong suffering Cleveland Browns season ticket holder, so this is for all the long-suffering Browns fans. We're like Raider fans. We just hang in there. You couldn't ask for more passionate fan bases besides maybe the Buffalo Bills. What do you think, Captain?
I would say that I was going to say the Browns fans I respect, because anybody that sticks with that franchise for as long as they have, and I know the club president here, I know the club president here for the Browns backers, great guy as well. they are rabid and they are loyal. And I would say Bills fans, like you said, are as well. A fan base that does well and sticks with their team. The Steelers fans are very loyal too. They're a pain in the ass, but I'll give them their due too. So obviously nobody can hold a candle to Raider Nation. Nobody, but I at least give the other fan bases their due when I know that they are true and loyal fans. And I will say that of the four that I said, obviously Raider Nation being one, Steelers fans, Bills fans, Browns fans, very loyal and tried and true.
You're exactly right, because there's something, you know how it is, Captain. The more that, it's kind of funny with these critics like Colin Cowher, he's really turned the corner, had me with all his praise of Gruden and everything else. It's been a 360, but Stephen A. Smith is actually, but you're right about that as far as the fan bases, because you have to be a special kind of person to be a Browns fan, because there's been a lot of lean years. Last time the city of Cleveland won the championship was, 64, before LeBron James and all that brought home the championship back in the day.
Yeah, let me see. Jimmy Brown was still running for him. And I think, I'm trying to remember if Otto Graham was still the quarter. I mean, I know he was old at that point, but I think Otto Graham might have even still been their quarterback.
I believe you're right. Remember Lou the Toad Rosa, the field goal kicker.
Oh, yeah. And and I think, I'm trying to think, was Marion Motley on that team too? Or maybe I'm dating myself. I don't know. I
think he was. Yeah, that was back in the days of McElhenney that played for the 49ers, and Ellie Matson and all those great players.
Yep. McElhenney played for the Niners, and then I think he closed out his career with the Vikings.
I believe you're right. Back in the day of probably Joe Kapp and everything like that. But I was going to ask you, mate, what do you think about, it concerns me and everything about Joyner being out, and of course the season-ending injury of Carl Joseph.
Yeah, now Carl Joseph, obviously, now that concerns me a lot. And I'm glad that we got Swearinger. Now somebody, and I don't know who you are, it might have been critiqued. Somebody said that Joyner was going out on the IR as well. Check that. Yeah. That's the first time hearing of it. So I mean, I know he had a hamstring injury. I don't know as if that's true, but I thought that he just had like a hammy and might be out like maybe a game or two if he had that hamstrings, and you don't want to come back too quick. Vince is saying that Joseph played his last game as a Raider. I don't think so, Vince. I think that depends upon Carl Joseph, okay? Oh, your opinion. Okay, I got you. I think we're good to go there as far as I would love to have Carl Joseph as our third safety. Valerie, love me some Valerie. That's why I love Valerie, because she is friggin' spot on. Should we be worried about Carlson? Overall, no. Overall, I don't think we should be worried about Carlson. There are plenty of other kickers that are less of an issue than Carlson. I mean, he has been effing up the last couple games. And I honestly actually believe that with Carlson missing that extra point, that was an impetus for the Raiders defense to actually play better, because they knew that they had no room to spare. They had no room to spare. They were up by 2, knowing that a field goal would lose that game for them. And Badgley, whatever his name is, was a very good kicker for the Chargers. I think that was that extra shot of adrenaline, knowing that they could not allow them to go down the field. So I think that we are good to go with Carlson. I mean, nobody's going to have that super awesome kicker like we used to in days of old. But, I think Carlson is okay, honey. I trust me, I've seen a lot worse. What do you think about Sunday?
I think it's a game we're going to go out and win and everything. It all depends on what's amazing about this, Captain, is, as much as all the stuff with the incognito about his off the field problems, I think with him being there and Trent Brown like there was Colin Cowherd was saying, I think that Derek Carr's not running like a deer in the headlights anymore. He knows he's got a little bit more time and he's making his decisions quicker, and he knows that he's got a strong offensive line there. He's even stronger than last year, so I think that's freed him up to go through his progressions and everything like that as far as that goes. But the thing, like you said, and we went out and got this defensive end, was it?
Deion James or Deion Jordan. Yeah.
Where did we get him from?
He was actually suspended. He was a Dolphin who had substance abuse problems. He was actually the player that was taken with the pick that we had. We traded the third pick for the 10th or the 12th pick to the Dolphins when we picked up DJ Hayden. So that was who the Dolphins picked up with our pick. Now Deion is a wonderfully athletic specimen, I guess is what they say. You know, the guy has all of the physical tools as well. He just had substance abuse and alcohol issues, primarily alcohol, kind of like Darren Waller had. So he had the substance abuse / alcohol issues. He last played for the Seahawks last year. He had some issues. He busted a test because he was in the program, and so he was suspended for the first 10 games of this year. His first day back was Monday. Now he had a trainer that has been keeping him up and pumping him up and doing all the right things. Remember, he has some decent ties with Coach Cable because he was with the Seahawks last year. Actually, it was Cable's son who actually has some substance abuse problems as well. That was his sponsor. So he has that affinity and closeness to Tom Cable. And I'm sure that was one of the reasons why the Raiders picked him up, because of that close ties with Tom Cable. If he is playing up to par, if he is playing up to standards and he can keep himself clean, just like Darren Waller has been, he would be a godsend, because athletically, he is a dynamite player. We just need to make sure that he goes through the motions and keeps himself clean. And I know that with Waller on board, with Carr behind him, with Cable and his son in the group, if he keeps himself straight, he will be a wonderful pickup for us.
Isn't that amazing how the Raiders can get players that are discards from other teams or people that just didn't fit for one way or another? Al was awesome at doing that, and of course Ron Wolf and everything, and of course Mayock is a great evaluator of talent, and I just like the way that he and Gruden go about doing their business on procuring players and everything. And the Raiders, as you know, have a history of bringing back players that other people have given up on. That they believe in second chances, and I think this guy really has a really strong upside. And it's going to be interesting to see. You're never going to have enough defensive linemen and linebackers to help out, make it easier on the DBs and the corners.
What was that? Your last portion there, Steve?
Sure. When you have a great defensive push up like that, you can never have enough great players and everything, and just another tool in the tool shed, somebody that can really put the pressure. It's going to make it so much easier on the defensive backs when you have a good strong pass rush that upgrade.
You got it. Hey, Steve, I got to get this call. Thanks for calling in, shipmate, and I agree with you.
God bless you. You have a wonderful night. Thanks, Captain.
God bless you as well. That was Houston Steve, and I got a call from the 407, which is Orlando, if I'm not mistaken. Who am I talking to?
Joseph Rios.
Hey, Joseph Rios. Outstanding. What are you doing with a 407 number?
I live in Leavenworth. My ex-wife is actually from Orlando, and I kept the number when I was in the Army. Just ended up keeping the same number.
Okay, yeah, because I recognize, because 407 is right next to me over here, so that's why I said that I was looking like, whoa, somebody from Florida calling, and I wanted to answer you. I will definitely look for you over in Kansas City, so hopefully we will get a chance to hit up and get some pictures together as well, there, shipmate. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Watching the game right now, hoping that Pittsburgh gets knocked down a notch and keeping us in the wild card, if not for the first seed in the West.
Right. I mean, we need Pittsburgh to fall back a few games. And by the way, I am not one to smoke enough of a substance that would lead me to believe that the Raiders are going to win out for the rest of the season. I think that the Raiders have the possibility to maybe be a 10-6 team. I mean, I see 2 losses coming up. I'm not sure to who, but I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't think that we're going to lose 1, if not more, 2 games. That's just the realist in me and the analytical person in me. But 10-6 would look good for a playoff spot, and it would, depending upon how the things break in the AFC West between Kansas City, Oakland, and Los Angeles, 10-6 could also possibly win this division.
I agree. I do still see a definite positive chance of 11-5. But reality is it probably will end up being about probably 10-6. But I think it really all lies in the defense at this point. We got the injuries in the secondary. I know we got some replacements that are already on deck and coming through, but our biggest thing is our secondary. If we can get our secondary on lock, we have potential to be, to do some serious damage. It's just those mistakes we keep making down the field. The breaks in coverage that were happening. I mean, the games we lost. If you look at them, we really shouldn't have even lost them. We start off against Green Bay and we're taking care of business, and then, our secondary lets up. Same thing with Kansas City. We start off in the beginning and we're tearing it up, and then, they go with those deep passes and score, 3 or 4 touchdowns in the second quarter alone. So, when you look at those losses, it's really the break in our secondary that's killing us. I mean, there's mistakes, and, I see a lot of stuff of people bashing Carr. I mean, let's be real. I mean, look at his rating. Of course, he's going to make mistakes with that same quarterback. Our biggest issue, though, is definitely the secondary of the defense.
Right, and like I said, Kansas City scoring 28 on us, and it was like 7 and then 21 points were scored in like 5 minutes or 8. Right. I mean, it was horrible how they scored at will.
And with that being said, too, that was in one quarter.
And then we shut them down the rest of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, the second half they had nothing. Again, I think if we make those corrections in these next few games and fix those coverages, we can go to the promised land. We just got to fix that coverage.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I don't see Curtis Riley starting in the secondary, and he remains a special teams player, we have a chance. I mean, I've noticed that the secondary has played a lot better with the amount of snaps that have been lessened for Curtis Riley. Unfortunately, with the injury to Joseph and Joyner, he's got Riley's going to have to be expected to step up. And there were other safeties that the Raiders were looking at. They were looking at it was Shed or Head that played for
Whitehead from
Whitehead from the Browns, and also the kid that played for the Seahawks a couple years ago. They were looking at him as well. So there might be a safety out there that remains to be seen. I don't want Curtis Riley in my starting lineup as a safety. The guy is burnt, and I just don't want to see that.
I'll tell you one positive thing too that showed with this game against the Chargers. One real big positive thing was Crosby and Farrell on that last game peeking out. If our defense line put some pressure on the quarterback, I mean, that alone right there is a game changer, and it showed against the Chargers.
I agree, okay. You got a reprieve. The guy who was just calling, I call again because Mr. Rios is up on his time. There you go. I agree there, partner. I will see you out in Kansas City. The secondary is the key.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
Well, he's gone again. Okay, call again. Call again because I was ready to take the call. Third time is the charm. I think it was a 321 area code. So if you were just calling, call back in. I didn't get a chance to do the news, which was what the big word that I had for everybody here. Okay, this was my big news for the okay, there it is. Hey, 321. Oh, that's Valerie. Outstanding, sweetheart. Glad you're here. Valerie, this time does not count against you. I got to get this word out, so please stay on the line, honey.
Okay.
Okay. Because I haven't been able to say anything, and we're up almost at 10 o'clock, we're almost at an hour, I want to make sure that the word gets out. Tell everybody, if you are a subscriber to this show, to this channel, and you can make yourself available to come to the last game in Oakland, which is December 15th. I will be having you got to tell me why I should give you the ticket. And I'm going to go through all of the looks that I have. First off, you got to show me that you are a subscriber. Now, if you look on YouTube, it might show you that you're subscribed to me, but I can't see it based upon your profile, okay? So you got to take a screen capture showing me that you are a subscriber to my channel. That's one thing, okay? The next thing is you got to send me a message on Facebook or by other means, and I'll put my email address as well for this contest. I'll put it on Facebook. YouTube subscribers that are definitively subscribed to my channel that can make their way to the game on December 15th. I only got one ticket, but if you can tell me why I need to pick you, you will be going to the last game in Oakland with me. So that's the contest. Best I can do. And hopefully we'll get some people out there that really want to go, that couldn't go get to the game otherwise. They'll be sitting with me in a club seat watching the game as the Raiders take on the Jaguars on December 15th. Valerie, none of this time counts against you, darling. Good to hear from you. How's my favorite lady?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, darling. Talk to me.
Okay, so, wow, what a game. What a game. And the defense, I've kind of been really tough on them all year because they sucked up until just the defense just a few games ago. But I'm a little concerned, though, with Joseph out now and Joyner, and I just hope, like you were just saying, you're optimistic. You think, you're cautiously optimistic about how many games we can win. As far as the offense goes, I'm a little confused where Waller's been.
You're confused about Waller in what respect?
Where has he been?
Well,
he hasn't been using him really.
Well, actually, they've been trying to use him, but the guy's been double covered a lot. I mean, the word has gotten out that Darren Waller was Derek Carr's security blanket, and his production has gone down precipitously because he's facing a lot of bookend coverages where he's either being double covered or being bookended by a linebacker and a safety or something like that, which is what defenses need to do. So they've tried to take him out of the game. Now, it's not like, okay, and Polo's going to donate a Black Hole shirt to my winner as well. So thank you there, Polo. Appreciate that. Waller has been taken out of a lot of the series. Now, he hasn't been forgotten, but when Carr is looking downfield and he sees that Waller has, a bracket of a linebacker and a safety or something like that, or double coverage, he's going to look the other way. If you notice, they've actually, Renfro has had his catches increase. Williams, since he's come back from his injury, has had his catches increase. He's also been looking for Foster Moreau and Derek Carrier when he's in the game. So having Waller being bookended is not necessarily a bad thing. He has been getting his opportunities, and he has been catching the ball when he has been thrown to. It's just the fact that he's not as blatantly wide open as he has been at the first half of the season. So it's a good thing to have, is that the league has finally figured out that Darren Waller is, and actually I saw the stat, Waller and Carr had the number one quarterback to tight end numbers this year in the NFL as far as a quarterback tight end combo. They were number one in the NFL, and that's one of the reasons why Waller's catches have gone down, because the people figured out that this guy is for real.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, yeah. Well, but I'm just so, it's so nice to watch the team now. It's so fun. And, you know, at the end of the day, no matter what we end with, whether we end at, you know, we have 10 wins, whether we have 7 wins or 8 wins, no one expected us to have any more than 4. So, and we know we'll do nothing but get better and better and better and better. So, you know, I'm super excited. You know, I can't wait for every Sunday to watch now. And, you know, being a fan for so long, you know, we've been about the same time. We've seen greatness. We've seen really bad. We've seen good. We've seen mediocre. And so I think we're on the rise again. I think we're going to see some really, the next few years, we're going to really, I feel we could become a dynasty, actually. We get the right pieces in on our defense. You
know, and actually I was reading an article today, and it was from Tim Kawakami, who is the most, he's a sports writer in the Bay Area, and he must really hate the Raiders, because most of the stuff that he writes, him and Ray Ratto, because they are sports writers for the Bay Area, obviously it's up their job to write on the teams. But Kawakami and Ratto, and I haven't seen anything from Ratto recently, thank God, are the staunchest kind of, if they say anything nice about the Raiders at all, it's always left-handed with a "but this." I read an article today from Kawakami saying that John Gruden is worth every bit of the $100 million contract that he has, that he is the reason why this team is as good as it is and gonna get better. He says he's a bargain. He's a bargain at $100 million, and I agree with him on that. This team is getting better. The players are there to play for Gruden. They're there to play for their teammates. They enjoy the organization. They like what Mike Mayock brings to the organization. And right now, Mike Mayock should be on the short list for General Manager of the Year. So if you put that between the Mayock-Gruden combination and how things did not work out with Gruden and Reggie, and I was there the night that Reggie McKenzie got canned last year. I was at that game. I believe it was the Steelers game, if I'm not mistaken. And I saw Reggie rolling around the Hilton, and word got out that he had just been fired, and he didn't have on anything Raider. He was basically wearing non-Raider colors, and all of his cohorts in crime were there. You knew it was coming, and it was a big bloodletting when he was let go. So the Gruden-Mayock combination with what we have right now, what we are going to get in the future, it's only going to get better, and the word is out that this is the franchise that you need to go to. Going to Vegas without its taxes is going to be nothing but a help for this team. And like you said there, honey, this team is on the rise. And if they play their cards right, they could be a perennial, I'll have to use the word because you brought it up, a perennial playoff team. And I don't like to use the P word until, it's getting closer. But they could be a perennial playoff team for years to come if this team continues to gel, get the right people in here via draft picks and free agent pickups, and this team has nowhere to go but to hit that glass ceiling and break through it.
Yeah, totally agree. I just read today that Brett Favre He's got his John Gruden's hat in the ring for
Coach of the Year.
Did
Yeah.
you see that?
Yeah, I saw that article too. Fantastic.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it. I just wanted to say I'm super excited, and I'm going to try. I think we were looking to go to the Titans game, but, you know, if that doesn't work, we definitely want to get to the Jag game.
Most definitely. Like I said, if you want to join that contest, now if you can get out, I can't do airfare, but if anybody can be there for the Jaguar game, and I know that like I said, if you're a subscriber, I'm going to need to know it. Either be I know that you comment here, or they got to take a screenshot. If you can get out there, you know, Valerie, you definitely be my first choice, but I want to make it so that it's not obvious that I'm picking my girl. But I
think everybody already knows it's obvious.
Well, Valerie is my girl, and I might have to rescind my vote on Valerie. But if you can be there for the Jags game, tell me a reason why, and you'll definitely be my +1 for that last game in Oakland.
Okay, we'll get that contest. We'll get in that contest.
That's right. And remember, Polo said he's going to throw in a TBH shirt too, so that's not a bad thing.
All right, well, good talking to you.
All right, darling. Love for my Valerie. You take care, honey.
Bye-bye.
That was Valerie, and this is 412. Who am I speaking to?
Captain Jack, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, I know that voice. That's Jared. How you doing, brother?
Well, I'm home. I'm actually home from the Pitt, North Carolina game after it was a cold night. However, right now I can say cold is the operative word. However, on both the Pitt Panthers and the Steeler Nation tonight.
Yeah, I'm watching the game, and you guys are being taken apart.
Yeah, I mean, losing Connor, losing Schuster. I just told Eddie, however, I just said losing those guys is a big loss for the Steelers tonight. Huge. But I was at the Pitt, North Carolina game, and I'll tell you what, the officiating in that game tonight in the first half, my God, I just got home moments ago, and like I said, I'm just watching the third quarter now, but the officiating has been horrendous tonight in the Pitt, Carolina game. It has been a joke. I mean, they lost one of their safeties, Pitt did, DeMar Hamlin, and then there was a bullshit call when it should have been a clear touchdown in the first half, however. I mean, Pickett's doing well right now, but the Steelers are not the Steelers. The Panthers are trying to hang on here. I mean, they always seem to have a bugaboo, whether it's in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, or here in Pittsburgh against those Heels, however. And right now they're up 17-10 with about 8:52 to go in the the third quarter. But they've got to wake up. I mean, this first half, the officiating was absolutely horrendous in every sense of the word.
Okay, and obviously they're playing this at Heinz Field?
Yeah, not a big crowd tonight. How it's a cold night, especially after the last couple of days when it's been like in the 20s and everything. But so next to last home game, I'd say right now there's about maybe 20,000 there, maybe 18,000. If it was a warmer night like tonight, however, they would get maybe 25, 27,000. But it's just a cold, miserable night. However, hopefully Pitt can win this one and go 7-3. However, they got Virginia Tech next week in Blacksburg. This is their next to last home game. They want to finish out strong, I know, before bowl season. But yeah, they lost, like I said, their big safety right before the end of the half on a targeting call, however, which was deliberate. I mean, I saw it clear as day, but there was it took 10 minutes on one call, however, like early in the first quarter, however, not a touchdown, but it was clearly a touchdown. I mean, he didn't juggle it or anything. It was a clear, nice catch, and the referees are horrendous. Horrendous.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I just got home basically right before the show went on. I wolfed down some food. I put on Facebook to tell people to come on over here. And I did put the word out that if you can get to the last game in Oakland and you're a subscriber, you got to prove that you're a subscriber. That I'm going to have a contest. I'm going to take somebody to the game. So if you want to go to the game there, Jared, you got to tell me why. And I know you're a subscriber, but you got to get out there too.
I'll tell you why, because I never say a bad word about the Oakland Silver and Black Nation. However, I mean, like the Steelers, they've always been the tough guys. However, and they always give it their all. However, and yes, I'm one of the very few, however, that never badmouths the Raiders. However, through good and bad times. However. It's going to be a bittersweet day, however, in Oakland, however, even though it's going to be tough to say goodbye to them again, however, but this time they're going to a city, however, that will embrace them. Vegas is ready to see NFL football at its finest, and it's going to be a fun time next fall when they get to Vegas. You can mark on that, and if anyone doesn't believe that, you know what I can say to that. Tough, you know what.
I got it. Tough noogies. I'll clean it up.
Yes, exactly. Tough noogies, right.
That's right. So, getting back to your Stillers, and I said that correctly.
Yes.
12.5 to go in the third quarter. I mean, obviously with Schuster out and Connor out, what does the Pittsburgh Steelers have to do in a bad environment? You're in the dog pound in Cleveland. Cleveland was a 3-point favorite right now, but they're looking like they're a good 14-point favorite just off the score.
Yeah.
But they are just doing everything that they need minus this series because they're going to punt finally. Do the Steelers, I mean, honestly, can the Steelers come back?
They have to. Their defense has got to step up like last week against Los Angeles and get the heat to Baker and try to shut down Beckham and Kareem Hunt. However, if they don't, they're going to be in for a rough second half. And the thing is, though, they're looking too far ahead. The thing is, there's still 2 games out, but next week they get the Bengals in Cincy, who are a joke as it is, at 0-9. Then they play the same Brownies here in 2 weeks at Hightower. Then they got Arizona. I think the thing is, they knew this was going to be a trap game. One of these 2 Cleveland games was going to be a trap one, but they did not think tonight, however, being on such a short week, this was going to be the trap game. And I think tonight this was the trap game, and they look way far ahead as far as that goes.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Pittsburgh's going to need to do something. I mean, this loss is going to hurt as far as your possibilities in the wild card race because I think the Ravens, barring anything unforeseen, the Ravens got the division, and it's all about the wild card at this point for the other teams.
Right, and Baltimore's got that big game coming up on Sunday at home against Houston and Deshaun Watson, even without J.J. Watt not playing, however. Houston's going to have to come in with O'Brien, however, knowing that they have got to slow down the Baltimore Express. And the way Lamar is right now, I don't think anyone can stop Lamar at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he is playing over his head in a good way. Now, how do you see, I'm going to ask 2 questions because I know I get good words from you. How do you see the Sunday game with the Raiders, and how do you see the Monday game with Kansas City and the Chargers in the altitude?
Yeah, Kansas City in Mexico is going to have a little tough time, I feel, because the Chargers are going to be a little hungry for this game. And the way Kansas City, after they started out so good before the Mahomes injury, they continue to go backwards. And it seems like Andy Reid right now knows that the Raiders and Gruden are coming up and creeping up on them in the standings. And that's going to be the game to watch eventually at the end of the month, first week of December. So right now, if the Raiders want to have a little early Christmas present given to them gift wrapped, however, this would be a big thing if Rivers and company could come through in the altitude and slow down Mahomes and company along with Tyreek Hill Monday night, however, in Mexico. So I think the Chargers will get back on the beam after playing. They tried their best last week against the Raiders, of course, in the Coliseum, but this time, however, I think they need to keep their heads on a swivel. They just got to be careful that Mahomes doesn't go crazy on them, however, otherwise it's going to be a long night. But I think the Chargers win a tight one, 24-20 in that one. I think it's going to be very close. And then the Raiders got who on Sunday? I can't remember who they got on Sunday.
They got the Bengals at 0-9, and I am not looking past that game, man. I hope the team isn't either.
I don't think they should because you don't know what Cincinnati's capable of. I mean, yes, they got beat up pretty bad last week, however, at Baltimore, but they're coming out west, however, they want to do something. I think Finley, however, tried his best, however, but I think the Raiders, however, even though they had an up-and-down game last Thursday night, however, I think, however, with them again in the Coliseum, I think they're going to get after Cincinnati. A.J. Green's still not playing, however, I don't know why he's still not even on the roster. I think the bigger question is what's going to happen Saturday with the whole Kaepernick issue, and we'll see what happens there eventually, but that's beside the point. However, like you said, I don't think the Raiders should look past this one by any means necessary, however, and that being said, I do think the Raiders are going to win big. I just think the Bengals are just still so inferior and so bad this year, they need all the help they can. I mean, yes, they miss A.J. Green, but if they're going to win one game, it could be against Cleveland, maybe, or against, they play us the following week. So, they could either beat you guys this week, or they could beat Pittsburgh next week. However, However, I still think the slide continues for the Bengals. I think the silver and black are going to come out swinging, and they're going to knock out Cincinnati with a big haymaker.
Okay, well, I hope you're right on that. You mentioned it, but I'm going to get you out on this one there, Jared. Your thoughts on the BS that the NFL, and to me it's just a showcase BS for Kaepernick about, hey, we're going to give you a tryout, but we're not giving you enough time to really do it. I think it's just a show for everybody, a PR stunt for everybody. But does anybody actually sign Colin Kaepernick this week?
There's been talk here in the last 2 days in Pittsburgh that the Steelers are one of the teams that are throwing their weight in, and they think they're going to be the heavy favorite to sign him. But right now, I don't see that happening. However, I do see, a team like a Cincinnati, possibly, depending on if they're going to keep going after the season. Miami right now is still iffy. The Chargers could do it next year, however, because, Rivers is 37 years old, and who knows if he's going to come back for another year after this year. He's getting up there in age, however. Those are the only three I can see right now maybe throwing their weight in, saying, we're going to give you a chance. But if Pittsburgh signs him, I will be shocked, but I do not see that happening. But like I said, I do see like a Miami or a Cincinnati or the Chargers taking after him.
Okay, well, I appreciate your thoughts on that there, Jared. I know I'll let you go channel hop between the Steelers and the Panthers, and I appreciate you calling in.
No problem. I'll talk to you later this week because I'll be going out of town tomorrow with my friends up to his camp up north in Pittsburgh. We're going up towards Erie, however, so he has a camp up north about an hour from here, so we're getting on the road early in the morning.
And again, you take care up there and get with me on that Gradkowski thing for sure.
I will. I'm going to probably talk to my buddy before Thanksgiving, and I know he's going to talk to Bruce sometime this next week, Howard, because I was asking him, have you talked to Bruce lately? He says he hasn't been in touch with Bruce in a few weeks, but he's going to let me know, hopefully before Thanksgiving, what's going on. So I should hear back from him this next week, and I'll let you know.
All right. Well, always good hearing from you, brother. You take care.
You too, and have a good time out in Oakland this week, and bring home a win.
I hope so, partner. You take care as well.
All right, yeah.
All right. That's Jared. That's my boy in Pittsburgh. It's not a show without Jared. He calls in. He's religious. Oh, my goodness. Is it a pick? Is it? It is picked. Wow. It is just when we get off the phone. Just when we get off the phone, it's a pick for the Steelers. So, hey, line is open. 813-699-0834. And by the way, Valerie is eligible. Jared is eligible to win. But again, they got to come out there on their own. I can't do airfare. But again, you got to be a subscriber. And I'll put this on Facebook. If you can get out to the game, and you're a subscriber, and you got to show that you're a subscriber, then you're eligible. Ed Vela, thanks for coming in as well. Big hello to you. Appreciate that. Cleveland ball, third quarter. This is Ruben. How you doing there, Ruben? Ruben, if you didn't hear, I'm offering up a ticket for the last game. You got to be a subscriber, and you got to be able to get to the game yourself. But I'm going to run a contest to see who wants to join me in the club section for the December 15th game with the Jaguars. Line is open, 813-699-0834. I'll put it out on Facebook. I'm not going to let the ticket go to waste. So if you can tell me why, I have no problem having somebody come with me for that last game. It'll be wonderful, because it is at the last game now. Brown super easy. Don Webb. Thanks by the way, Don, for your comments. Stuff on Don being a man of the Air Force. Good to see him as well. Polo, you take care as well. Thank you for calling in as well. It is 10:20. We've been on for, almost about an hour 20? Yeah, hour 23. Well, actually, hour 20 because there was a little bit of a lead-in. So again, if you want to go to the Raider game December 15th, you'll be my guest. But you got to get out there. I can't supply your airfare. If you can get to the game, we're going to go. Obviously, you got to be a subscriber. Don Webb is correct. Playoff competition for the Raiders, Titans. Raiders got to beat the Titans. Browns, Steelers, Colts, which we have the tiebreaker against, and the Bills. Actually, I think the Bills, unless the Bills really fall on their face, the Bills should be the number one seed. Jimmy Farrell, I'm not selling the ticket. It's a contest. You got to make your way out to the game. Okay, hang on a second. I see Ruben calling in. Oh crap! There we go. Damn it! Hang on, Ruben. I get you. 559. That should be Ruben Fellew. How you doing there, brother?
How you doing, Captain?
I'm good, man. What's up with you? Been a while since we heard from you. How you doing?
I've been watching the game.
Oh, I know you have.
You ain't into the show. I just letting other people call and talk.
Oh, I got you, and you're on your time. You're good.
I'm content the way we've been playing because we're at a point where we're 5-4. This is only the second year coaching. What I don't like, what I've been seeing, they use Jacob too much in the backfield, running the same damn play. And when I say the same play, it's always that pitch. It's not even a pitch, it's a handoff. And they're always going to the strong side of the defense instead of the weak side. Like, I don't get it with them. Does Gruden not see this? And more importantly, our receivers, like you guys were talking about Waller and Cecil Carr, our receivers are not getting open because we're not fooling the defense.
Mm-hmm.
They should use Richard in the backfield along with Jacobs or whoever they're going to have back, even the fullback. How many play-action plays do we actually use in the game? Well, we're fooling the defense. Like, when Jacob's back there, oh, they know already. Automatically, he's getting the ball. But look how open our receivers are when we use them as a decoy. They bite on him all the time. They need to do that more often, and they don't. That's why our receivers are not getting open.
I agree with that. I mean, like I was telling
they should be
Valerie,
doing way better than what we're doing. I mean, we're winning the games. I mean, they're nail biters. They're coming down. The injuries are not helping them either, but they got to be better creative on the plays. A lot of people get mad at Carr. Okay. A lot of the receivers, some of them, they've been dropping the balls too. He's always hasn't been on the money, but he ain't calling his own plays all there. Unless he's calling an audible where Gruden's giving him the okay, he's not calling his own play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know,
I
that
agree.
That falls on the coach.
It does. Well, and we know there's not a lot of love lost between you and Gruden, but I agree with you that they should be using play action more. They have been using the fullback. I mean, obviously Ingold scored that touchdown on the throw last week against the Chargers, so that was a good. It wasn't quite a play action, but it was like a delay type of throw to him, so he wasn't looked upon as the primary. I mean, he was the primary. It was a kind of like look away and then look to Ingold, and he was open and he got that.
Yeah, they got to give the ball more to like they keep running with Jacobs all the time. They're giving the other guys the ball here and there. I mean, you got to spread the ball around. Why? Because you need to get everybody in the game, and that throws the defense off because then their coaches can predict, okay, this is what they're going to do. Why? Because they always run this play. I mean, when we're watching the game, or at least when I'm watching the game, I can see, okay, what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And whether it's going to be successful or not, because you keep running the same thing. You can't keep running the same thing.
Well,
they're going to stop it.
Right. I'm going to disagree with you on spreading the ball around. I think that Derek Carr, as a whole, I want to say he's averaging about 7 to 8 receivers a game. And that's with, there you go, Don even said it, 8 receptions or 8 different guys last week. You figure you got Richard and Jacobs out of the backfield. You got Waller and either Moreau, and I'll just use the 2 tight ends as 2. So that's 4 right there. They're using Engel. That would be 5. They have Williams, Zay Jones, Renfro. That's 8 right there. So that's at least they're spreading the ball around. It's not really going to the same guy all the time. Like I said, I'm going to disagree with you there, and I had the guys back it up. Through to at least 9 different receivers. We've had 8 guys, so they are getting the ball around.
I will. The ball gets to Moreau.
Yeah,
I him or Waller, because those guys, they catch the ball. Very rarely do you see them drop the ball, and they always end up like the ball goes to them like when we really need it, when it really counts, and they get it. But the ball has to be put in their hands. Same thing like Winfro. He drops a few passes here and there, but most of the time he catches his passes, and he's quick. He gets open. He gets separation. And like during that last stretch when we were going for the touchdown, that's where the balls were going to. Mm-hmm. Now when they ran the ball, Jacob made the touchdown. There was a lot of time left, or at least enough, when you got a guy like Rivers. But we shouldn't be playing from behind like we've been. And the only reason why we have, because the offense is slow. I mean, we're up 10-0 because 7 points came from the defense. The number 25, what's his name?
Harris. Yeah.
Yeah. He should have caught 3 picks off of Rivers, but you got these bonehead plays that the defense is doing offsides. Come on, man. These guys got to do better than that. And I think it was I don't know if it was Collins. He had a pretty good game, but one of them got called offside twice.
Yeah, Cleve Farrell.
Plays.
Right, Cleve Farrell had 2 offsides within like 4 plays of each other, and Max Crosby had 1
too.
Us
when Harris makes an interception and they can stop him, we're keeping them in the ball game.
Yeah,
we're up 10-0. I'm thinking, okay, cool, we're going to kill them tonight. And then before you know it, here they come back little by little, and then they make 2 touchdowns, 14-10. We're already losing. And when we're in the red zone, they got to score touchdowns, man. They keep settling for field goals.
Yeah,
I mean, we did good that night, given the fact of everything that took place. Joseph got hurt at the end. That was a damn shame. I saw the guy's knee come down on his ankle. I was like, oh, he's hurt. How bad? I think he's out. When I saw the play, because, he catches the ball and everybody's like, great, but did you see how his ankle, his foot got bent?
Yeah, and that's why he's gone for the year. I mean, that's why. Yeah. And
it's
like
not like we don't have enough injuries on defense. Man, we got more than our fair share compared to other teams in the league.
Right. Well, like I said, this is a patchwork secondary. I think Swearinger will be okay. I mean, he's not the greatest. He has bounced around the league, but he has played in similar systems, so he should be able to come in and do adequately. As long as I don't see a bunch of Curtis Riley, I'm happy.
Looking at the rest of the schedule, December 1st and December 8th, I think those are the 2 toughest teams on the schedule. Now, I might be wrong because you never know with this team, given that the way the play call has been lately. None of them are really like walking the park, and they shouldn't have that attitude either, whether the coaches or the players, because any one of these teams can beat us on any given day, especially if we don't do our part like we're supposed to, like our players, committing fouls and keeping them in the game, or keeping the game close when we should be blowing them out. When there's opportunities to put points on the board, you don't leave those points on the board. I get nervous sometimes when I'm watching them and they're in the red zone, especially like say Waller, somebody catches the ball, or Williams catches the ball, right, and they're about to get in the end zone, they don't. They get tackled or whatever, we're short. Then I'm thinking to myself, great. Fucking great. Why? Because here comes Gruden with his conservative play calling.
Yeah.
And if we don't get something on the first or second down, then I'm thinking, okay, he's going to be too conservative. He's not going to do a rollout. I have yet to see Carr do a bootleg or anything like that. I mean, there's times where nobody's open. He's got, a bunch of real estate in front of him, and what does he do? He don't run.
Yeah, so I saw that last week with Carr. He had the entire left portion of the field open for him. That was when we went for the field goal in the third quarter, and he should have went.
I don't know if he's allowed to run, or Gruden tells them, no, you stay your ass in the pocket. I don't want you running at all.
Right, and that's what I told the guy. I said, listen, we don't know as a fan base, we don't know whether Carr is under explicit orders not to run per Gruden. Now, Carr did, in fact, go and did run for like a 5-yard gain on the very last series, which was a positive 5 yards when we ultimately got the touchdown to Jacobs. He did run. He did run for a 5-yard gain, got down and slid. So it's probably, up until that point, it's like, sit your ass in the pocket, do not run. And I have a feeling that that's probably from orders from the boss.
And if he is doing that, he's taking a part away of his game, and that's bullshit. Because why? Then he'll be indecisive when the guy ain't open. Okay, do I run, or I know what the coach told me not to do? Because that's in his head. Look at the kid, Lamar Jackson from Baltimore. I mean, he's tearing it up. And that's not my team.
Right, but
you give credit where credit's due.
Right, but Lamar Jackson, though.
New England had a hell of a time with him.
I get that, but Lamar Jackson is in a different situation. He's a different runner. He's more of a threat as a runner than Carr is. Carr is a good scrambler and can make some yards, but Lamar Jackson is a runner. He is a thoroughbred runner as compared to Carr. Lamar Jackson is a Ferrari, and Carr is a 300.
He's like an old Shelby, a Mustang.
No. He's Lamar Jackson's a Ferrari, and Carr is like a Chrysler 300.
Oh shit! You don't want a 300 Chrysler. Those things are terrible.
I'm just saying it in comparison. Okay, that's the way it is. But I tell you what, I'm going to ask you this, Ruben. I'm going to let you go after this. And by the way, like I said, if on the contest, if you can tell me why you need to be sitting next to me for the last game, you can be involved in that contest as well. You got to be able to get there, though. This next game, okay, what's your feelings about it, and what's going to happen on Sunday?
The Bengals?
Yeah.
Well, they've been losing. They haven't really won. The offense has got to get off to a quick start. Like this last game with the Chargers, it was the defense that came up big. Given the fact, certain things happen, like with Carlson, like what you said earlier, he missed the field goal or the extra point, kept the game close within 2 points, and they stepped it up. They got to come out, and the team has to be balanced. That game against San Diego, that team was imbalanced that day. The defense did more than the offense did. I mean, the offense scored enough points, but they weren't, equaling what the defense was doing. That's how I saw it. I was like, come on, defense is finally doing good, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with our offense? I hope we don't go play the Bengals that way.
Yeah, but then again, the Bengals don't have the defense that the Chargers do. So that's
a given right there, because you saw what they did to the Packers, man. They shut them down. Rodgers couldn't find the end zone if you paid away from him. That's how bad they did.
Right,
and I was surprised because I picked them to win. I had them beating the Chargers by at least 10 points, if not more. And look what happened.
Right, and I do agree with you that the December 1st game and the December 8th game are the two toughest games left on our schedule. I agree with you there, shipmate.
See, if we can go into Kansas City and beat them, oh, man, that would be beautiful. Then we would know, okay, this team's real serious. Like how, they talk about Jacobs, his kid's a beast, and how they're talking about Gruden up for maybe, Coach of the Year, which there's a lot of football left, so they need to hold on to that conversation just for a second, because we got a lot of games left, and we don't know if we're going to win them or lose them, depending on the outcome. He's doing a good job so far. Like with Jacob getting in the lineup, they need to use more play action. I get tired of seeing the same play calling with him. They could use them a lot better than what they've been.
Okay.
I don't know why Gruden's not doing it. Maybe he's afraid, or better yet, how he's been messing up his shoulder, or it's been hurting from game to game. I think maybe that's the reason why these calls are being played a certain way, because he knows how hurt these players are.
Okay, I agree, Ruben. I'm going to get up to that next call, but thanks again.
Yeah, go Raiders.
Go Raiders. That's Ruben. Always good to hear from Ruben. 516, who am I talking to?
Hey, Cap.
Oh, is this Jimmy Farrell?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I recognize that voice as well. How you doing there, brother?
I'm hanging in there, really. I'm at a point, I don't know, I'm like 50-50 about next week's game.
Wow.
I'm going to, yeah.
50-50. Next week or this game coming up on Sunday?
The Jet game next week.
Okay. But you're confident for this weekend, but you think that the Jets might be a loss.
No. I'm talking about going there.
Okay. About going to the game. Okay, well, Jimmy.
Oh, that game's going to be a win.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Jimmy, here's the thing. We want to see you, but if it's not going to be good for your health is paramount.
Yeah. I know. I'm starting to lose my palate when it comes to eating now.
Yeah, well, that's one of the side effects.
You know, I love to eat. You know.
Yeah.
You know, but the reason why I called power rankings. This is the reason why I cannot read about power rankings. I mean, how the hell you have the Pittsburgh Steelers the top 5 and we're 9th?
Yeah,
how is that possible?
I mean, I look at those and I laugh. I mean, there were weeks ahead where they had the Colts. They had the Colts ranked ahead of us.
The Colts up there too. Yeah.
They had the Colts ranked ahead of us. They had the Bears ranked ahead of us. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is after we beat them and they were ranked ahead of us. I don't pay them any heed. I mean, it's just something that we can use as bulletin board material. It doesn't matter. I kind of like to go through the motions of like Bill Murray in Meatballs and just do it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter because it's true. It doesn't matter.
You got New England as 3. I was like, what? How was New England number 3? Come on.
Well, I mean,
the Saints 1, and I think Baltimore's 2, or is it the 49ers or something? I don't know.
Right. And I was going to say they had the Niners as number 1 until they lost the other night, and the Niners, you know, they are they a good team? Well, yeah, they're a top 5 team if you look at the record, but they're not better. But then again, also the Patriots, even though they're a 1-loss team. I mean, I'm not sure who the 2-loss teams are. I think the Bills might have been one. The people that are at 2 losses are even those teams are kind of like not as good as their record indicates. Okay.
Yeah.
To be honest, if you want to go for I think the Ravens, if you look at like a teams that have more losses than the Patriots and the Niners, I think the Ravens are a better team than those 2 teams. If you want to put them at number 1, I can see the Ravens being the number 1 team.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I don't want to change the subject of football, but I'm really, really sad about Mrs. Crosby being out for like 6 weeks. So I really feel bad for Gerard. Okay, just to let him know that Mrs. Crosby is going to be out for 6 weeks for the Penguins. So I'm really upset about that.
Yeah, I can really hear it in your voice. Yeah, it's just I can feel the empathy coming through where Jared is just, you know, you really feel bad.
My team's the hottest team in New York right now.
The Isles?
Nobody talks about them.
Well,
they talk about dead teams. The Nets are dead. Jets dead. Giants dead. Rangers, you know, they're a young team. They're trying to, you know, build their team up. But my team's the hottest team. Nobody talks about them in New York.
Well, now, technically, are they in New York?
My Islanders?
Yeah.
My Islanders are 20 minutes away where I live.
But are
Where
they
they
in
play.
are they in New York?
The Islanders, of course they are.
Yeah, where are they playing?
They play in Uniondale, New York, Long Island.
Okay, that's
About 25 minutes to where I live.
That's what I'm saying. Technically, they're not a New York team.
Neither is the Jets and the Giants. And the Devils.
I was going to say
I
that,
mean,
but
what the hell, man?
but wait a second. Aren't the Devils geographically closer to New York than your Islanders are?
No, why are the Devils called New Jersey Devils and the Giants and Jets are called New York?
You tell
doesn't make
me,
any
man.
sense.
You tell
New
me.
Jersey.
You live up there. Hey, I'm walking here.
Come on, I don't want to get into that. I've been hearing this crap for all my life. But anyway, back to the football. This Titan game. I'm 50-50 on that game.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. I think that the Titan game
could be a sleeper game.
Might be that. And you know what? The Titan game to me is probably the most important game we got coming up, other than Kansas City, because I think that if you lose to the Titans, you're hanging by a thread. If you don't win the AFC West, because the Titans might be that team that takes that second wild card.
Now, if we win Sunday, are we in the wild card as for now?
I think that if we win Sunday, I think we would be the number 6 seed, or the number 5 seed, depending upon, because with the Steelers possibly losing tonight.
Yeah.
With the Steelers,
how are the Steelers losing to the Browns? Are you kidding me? How are they losing to this team?
Well,
this team stinks.
It would just be like
they're so overrated. It's unbelievable.
It would just be like us losing to the Donkeys the last game of the year. It's division.
And let me tell you, that Houston game still bothers me.
It does.
We should be 6-3 right now.
I agree.
We should be in first place right now. But no, we had to blow that game.
I agree. Like I said that, and I told people that the night of the Houston game when I did my show. I said I am so pissed. I was livid pissed losing to the Texans, knowing how important that game was.
Yeah, and you're winning 3/4 of the game, and you decide, I don't feel like playing no more because we got it in the bag.
Yeah, I agree. And that game, I think that game might be the game that really comes back and bites us in the ass if we don't go to the playoffs this year.
Well, I don't want to get too far ahead, but just say the Raiders and Baltimore are playing in the wild card. It's in Baltimore. Are you going to that game?
If I can get a ticket, maybe, yeah.
Yeah?
If I can get a ticket, it all depends upon availability.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to go to that game. That's like a, 2-hour drive, 2.5 maybe?
Yeah. I mean, I'd go to that game, and but obviously it'd be being able to find a ticket, and I would go to that game. I mean, if the Raiders have a home game in for the playoffs, I'm going to that hook or crook. But if the Raiders play Baltimore in Baltimore, sure, I'll go to that game.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather have it in Oakland?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but
that's really going to be hard to have a whole wild card game. I don't know. I mean, you would have to win like almost every game to at least have one loss.
Right.
For the season. And
that's why I said in order for the Raiders to host a wild card game, they can afford they can't be worse than 11-5.
Yeah.
They can't be worse than 11-5 because if they're not a division champ at 11-5, and by the way, they could be an AFC West division champ at 11-5.
They could.
But if you're going to host a game in the playoffs, really your record cannot be any lower than 11-5. 10-6 means you might be in the playoffs, but you might be on the road.
I think they're going to finish 10-6.
Which is what I said. It's what I said. I think I can see a 10-6 finish. But 11-5 would guarantee a playoff game and likely an AFC West championship.
I could see them losing to the Titans, but beating the Chiefs like a last second field goal or something. I could see that happening.
Well, I mean, we're gonna need to win at least one of those games, and actually the game that we need to win. Actually, we really need to win both, but we got to beat Kansas City because Kansas City should lose to the Patriots the next week.
And then I got the Chargers this Sunday, which that's not going to be.
Well, Monday in the altitude of Mexico City. Don says the Chiefs are falling apart. They're coming apart, but they're not falling apart. They're kind of busting at the seams.
They're not completely out. I mean, they're banged up a little bit, but I don't trust them. Not being in the playoffs. I still respect them.
Okay. Well, I've asked you about all the games there, so I'm gonna let you out on this one because you're talking about your Islanders. Okay. Do Islanders make the playoffs this year?
I guarantee you they make the playoffs because we got the best coaching market right now.
Okay.
We just finished off a 10-game win streak.
Okay.
And we have a 13-game point streak right now.
Okay.
We're 3 points behind the Caps. Caps got 3 games above us. So you do the math.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that.
Another thing. Guess who we're playing Saturday?
Probably a team from Philadelphia.
Bingo. And thanks a lot for trying to beat the Caps the other night.
Hey,
thanks a lot.
We got a point.
Big shit. So what? You should have beaten it. You guys had. I don't know if you saw the game. I did. You guys had him on the ropes.
I saw a bit of the game. I didn't see all of it, but I saw that there was a couple goals that they should have had that went off the pipes.
It was less than a minute left. The Flyers are flying in the Capital zone. The Capital is dead tired. They can't get off the ice. They're skating around. They're passing the puck, and that's when they should have got the goal and won the game. But you guys didn't come through, and you blew it.
I will tell you about it when I see my Flyers down here twice against the Lightning. Hey, Jimmy, you take care of yourself and keep in touch, there, shipmate.
I'll talk to you Sunday.
All right, we'll see you Sunday.
All right, take care.
All right, that's Jimmy Farrell. Keep some good thoughts for Jimmy as he goes through his chemo. Always good to hear from him. And let's see here. What time is it here? Oh, okay. We got about 12 minutes. So we got about 12 minutes to go. Definitely want to get out of here around 11 o'clock. You said the DB's been ejected? Really? Okay, I'll look for that. Yeah, okay. Well, now, Mike, actually that's not true because there's 3 wild card games. There's 3 wild cards. Okay? There's the 2, let me see here. No, I take it back. Yeah, you're right. There's the 2 division winners. And the 2. Okay, yeah, you're right. In order to get a home playoff, you're right, Mike. We'll see. The Raiders could be one home playoff game. We'll see. But we got to have that happen. Turning back to the Browns, and no, that's not. That's a good non-call. 1 second to go in the third quarter. Cleveland is holding on to that 14-7 win. Deontay Johnson, he's in concussion. Wow, really a lot of injuries for the Steelers. This game, if they lose, It's not just if they lose. And again, not that I wish ill for injuries. But if you lose Schuster and Deontay Johnson and James Conner, if you lose them for a couple games, and of course the Seibert misses the kick. Oh God. So that doesn't help. Line is open. 813-699-0834. 813-699-0834. We got about 10 minutes. I'll be on till 11. Again, remember, if you're watching this, you know. If you can make it out for the last game in Oakland, the December 15th game, I'll put this on Facebook too. If you can make this out for the December 15th game in Oakland, and you're a subscriber, you got to prove that you're a subscriber. I'm gonna take a fan with me to the game, and actually they'll get a Black Hole T-shirt thrown in as well. I'll put this on the Raider Bear show as well. We'll do that, but it all really comes down to, I mean, this next month is really important for this year. Okay, the next 4 games. Obviously, the Raiders got to win the next 2 to make it so that they are 7-4. Then they got to win. They got to win. In my estimation, they got to win in Kansas City in order to afford them the opportunity to be the AFC West champion. If they don't, then that means that they must win against the Titans to even afford themselves an opportunity to be in the wild card. Because you got to take these teams out that can affect your wild card head to head. They beaten the Colts. They need to beat the Titans. Okay, so that's what they got going for them. If it comes down to head, which is important, they lost to the Texans, and that's why that loss really sticks in my craw. Beating Kansas City, I can almost say that if you win the next 4 games, you're almost guaranteed. Not always, but you're almost guaranteed a playoff berth. True, Mike, you're right, but you got to win the next 4 games. If you win the next 4 games and you're at 9-4, if you're at 9-4 going into the last portion, that should be an easier look. Okay, I appreciate that, Ed. Me, pick me. I'll put the word out, Ed, but thanks for putting it up. But gave my weekend to my daughter and her husband to be there for the last home. Okay, well, thank you there. That's nice. That's nice. 1 game at a time, and I agree. Beat Cincinnati. Beat the Jets. Beat the Chiefs. And beat the Titans. If you do that, you can almost guarantee a playoff berth for the Raiders. Because who do you got after that? You got the Jaguars, you got the Chargers, and you got the Broncos. And you're sitting at 9 wins. So I got my last call for the evening. 407, who is this, please?
Hey, Joseph Rios again.
Hey, okay, Joe, what's going on?
I know you got a couple more minutes. I want to get your thoughts on a new defensive coordinator. What do you think?
our new defensive coordinator, or should we get a new defensive coordinator?
Getting rid of Gunther and trying to bring someone else in.
Well, I would say that it all depends upon where the Raiders finish this year. I mean, first off, if you're going by, and it was stupid that they were even showing that, you know, the Raiders are going to get rid of Gunther and they're going to hire Jack Del Rio as their D coordinator. That was funny as hell. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's not.
You don't like that call?
No, Jack Del Rio, no, because I want to see what Gunther can do. Now, I agree that Gunther has shown his ass a lot, but when Gunther had the and normally Mr. Rios, I don't allow two callers in, but since you didn't know, I'll let you go. But Gunther needs the horses, okay?
Right.
If the Raiders defense, which has been coming up the last several games, they've gotten progressively better. They should have beat Houston. They gave the game away in the fourth quarter.
Right.
But they were playing better that game than they did against the Packers because obviously Rodgers just picked them apart. So they've gotten progressively better. They were at a low for the Rodgers game. Then they played better against Houston, and they should have won the Houston game. Then they played better against the Lions and had the takeaways and the defensive plays at the right time against Matthew Stafford. And notice that Stafford hasn't played a game since, okay, because of his injuries. The defense has played better against the Lions, and then they played phenomenally better against Phillip Rivers. You had, was it like 5 sacks and 3 picks? Okay. If Gunther has the squad, or at least the semblance of the players that he had in Cincinnati when they had a top 5 defense, you can't get rid of the defensive coordinator. Now, if the Raiders fall on their face the rest of this year, then you might think about it. But then again, here's the other thing that I always tell people, okay? If you're going to say we got a problem here, you better be able to offer me a solution. And that's why I had Mike Arline do this a couple weeks ago. I said, hey, if you want to get rid of Gunther, and he wants to get rid of Gunther too, I said, who's going to replace him? Give me some people that might be eligible that you're going to replace him with. And until I know who is available, I'm going to say that Gunther gets year 3. If the Raiders continue to get better on defense and they're playing for him, like the team as a whole is playing good for Gruden, they're playing decently for Gunther. If you keep having these injuries, is that going to be the reason why Gunther's fired? Maybe. But if you're going to get rid of Gunther, you better have somebody in mind that's going to be a better alternative than Paul Gunther. And right now, I don't know of any that's available right now. Now, if Williams from the Jets becomes available, yeah, I'd grab him. But then you got to figure out what his scheme is. Does he have a 4-3 scheme or a 3-4 scheme? And
right, that's that package. Yeah.
Right, so you got to be able to have the same packages and the personnel to fit, because again, this defense is getting better. If you fire Paul Gunther, you better have somebody comes in that is a 4-3 defensive guy, because you don't want to go from a 4-3 to a 3-4. You've wasted all these picks. You've wasted a pick for Cleve Farrell. You wasted a pick with Max Crosby. Okay, and by the way, if you want to run a 3-4, you better have the linebackers, and the Raiders don't even have the linebackers for a 4-3. So you got to go with that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I appreciate you taking the last couple minutes on that. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that one.
Yeah, no worries, mate, and good hearing from you. Make sure you continue to call in as well, brother.
Absolutely, and also too, one more question real quick before we get off. Are you doing another tour in Gitmo again? I met you there back in 2012 as well.
No, if I got to go to Gitmo again, oh man, something majorly is wrong.
Oh, okay.
Something
I remember
major.
I jumped on one of your podcasts and Gitmo back in 2012. I think it was.
Yeah, no. If I gotta go back to Gitmo, then something really is wrong. I mean, I'm here for a reason. In the place that I'm working at now. God forbid if I got to go back to Gitmo. Now I might be going overseas for a TAD assignment, but I told them, I said, hey, I'll go as long as it's not during football season. So we'll see about that. But yeah, if I'm going to Gitmo, oh hell no, hell no.
Right on, Captain. All right, brother. Well, you have a great evening. All right.
All right. Hope to run into you in Kansas City, there, brother.
Absolutely.
All right. Good night now.
All right. Later.
All right, that's Mr. Rios, and that's definitely the last call for the evening. And with that, we transition out to the outro music. Be sure to join me on Sunday, where we will be talking about, hopefully, the Raiders at 6-4. Don't put a W in that column until you play the game, though, obviously. Do not put a W in that column. But keep stacking the wins. You've got 2 in a row. Let's make it 3 in a row, 4, 5, 6. You do 6 wins in a row. Like I said, if the Raiders can be, let me see, we're 5. Raiders get to 9 wins with the next 4 games. You can almost guarantee that P word taking place. Not for sure, but the odds of it would be a lot better. First things first, like Ruben just said, you got to beat Cincinnati on Sunday. I'd like to thank everybody for calling in. Again, if you are a subscriber and you can get out to Oakland for the last game, I'm going to take somebody with me. So if that's you, make sure I know. Take care of yourself. We'll see you Sunday after the game. And hopefully we'll be calling it a Raider Victory Sunday. We'll see you then. Take care, everybody.